And we will be moving on to Faculty Senate report. Don McDonald, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me your time today. Over the past 3.5 years to try to build this communication. And we've taken the steps that we've taken, and I'm going to reinforce this in the presentation here. We first started off very lightly, and we had questions, hey, why are you making that decision? That's what we did. We asked questions. And then as we continued on, we began to vocalize concerns with senior administration. From there, faculty, Senate started drafting resolutions. The presidents, the Faculty Senate presidents, have presented to the Board of Trustees the concern. That then led to unionization, June 2018, and now we find ourselves in a very unfortunate position here with a vote of no confidence in the president at this time. Could you please go to the next slide? Please understand that when I use the word administration or administrators, this is going to be, oh, that's the wrong one. Stay right there. Go back up one more. Good. Okay, one more. Okay. When I refer to administration, this is senior administration. We don't have enough time to get into the weeds today. So if any of the trustees or if the entire board would like to meet with Senex, we would be more than happy to meet with you. Oregon Tech has been in existence since 1947. However, I've only been here full-time for the last 14 years and as an adjunct faculty for the previous 6 years. In those 20 years, I've seen many changes, new administrations, new initiatives, new challenges. I have also seen many things remain the same: budgetary challenges, students, and the task and mission of teaching. However, today, I come before you in a situation I could not have imagined 4 years ago. As Faculty Senate President, a faculty president presenting a vote of no confidence in the president to the board. Over my first 15 years at Oregon Tech, we were often faced with challenges and undertook initiatives. However, even when I and others in the faculty disagreed with actions by administrators, I always felt we were all working together towards the same goal: providing the best possible undergraduate education to students. I and the faculty believe in Oregon Tech, and we have committed our lives to this institution over 10, 20, even 30 years, and collectively over 1,000 years. I believe that Oregon Tech can and should be the model for the future of higher education. Over my time here, and based upon those who preceded us, we have developed a unique and better approach to education. At Oregon Tech, we have always valued 3 things that makes us different and better. First, we have valued the application of knowledge. At Oregon Tech, it has never been enough to know things. You have to be able to do things. Second, we have valued relationships. Coming to Oregon Tech has and should mean that you will have relationships with your professors, not teaching assistants or adjuncts, beginning at the start of your academic journey and continuing to the end. It means that you will build relationships with those that are sharing your academic journey. And third, we have always valued student success, both while they are in class and after they leave Oregon Tech. Oregon Tech does not have screening classes where students are expected to fail and wash out. The faculty wants and will help students to succeed in class and in life. We design general education and major courses with the idea of preparing students to succeed in not just careers, but in their lives. We as faculty remain committed to providing education with the Oregon Tech difference. Unfortunately, the present environment and situation at Oregon Tech makes that commitment extremely difficult. Often over the year, I have found myself standing in hallways and on sidewalks talking to faculty members about their dissatisfaction and anxiety. I do not like having my professional life consumed with matters of low morale and increasing tensions. These past 3 years have been increasingly difficult as resources have been shifted away from teaching and faculty to other priorities. I started this year as Faculty Senate President. You remember this. I started this year as Faculty Senate President, determined to renew the faculty relationship with administration and had faith and a hope in my ability to work together to accomplish this change. In fact, in my own mind, I wondered if the previous lack of progress by Senate presidents had been due to their approach or personality. I have learned the hard way that despite our efforts to thoughtfully express our concerns, I have now come to the conclusion that many of my colleagues reached last year, that no change will be made and no solution will be forthcoming. And despite Faculty Senate presidents coming before the board and clearly expressing our dissatisfaction, the faculty has still not been engaged about the problems we have identified. So I and the rest of the faculty find ourselves in an uncomfortable and unsustainable position. Our time, effort, and emotion is being spent on trying to confront the mistakes and inequities that fill our work life. The problem that is most present in our minds is our concern for the education that our students receive at Oregon Tech. We are working hard to educate and equip students with less support and fewer resources. This is both demoralizing and dangerous for the health of our institution. Over the past 5 years, resources have consistently been transferred from positions and priorities that directly serve the students. As more money is directed to administrative compensation, this leaves the academic departments chronically understaffed, and this affects the students' experience. Departments have to cancel classes that are full because they lack the instructors to teach them. Students who sign up for on-campus classes are forced online with an adjunct because positions have not been filled. The reduction in commitment to the student experience is telling. While Oregon Tech recruits well, we fail to retain our students. Because of this, our enrollment is flat over the past 5 years. Vincent Tinto, the premier scholar of retention, points out that the most significant factor in retention is a connection to faculty members. When an increased number of classes are being canceled, moved online, or taught by adjunct, the relationships necessary to provide the educational experience that retains students is sorely lacking. Because of the chronic understaffing of academic departments, many students' experience has been increasingly dismal. As faculty are asked to teach out of load, and as positions are not filled, the cumulative effect is a decrease in the overall experience for the student. Not coincidentally, the amount of stress and anxiety on the faculty increases exponentially. Because of faculty work with students every day, they are frontline workers of the university. Faculty who are stressed and frustrated have an increasingly difficult time accomplishing all that is being asked of them. Regrettably, the answer to our expression of these concerns has been to listen politely, at times not even politely, and then do nothing to address them. Higher education is a unique context where it requires individuals with a broad range of expertise and experience to work together to achieve a common goal. In the past, when faculty had concerns, and even without a faculty union, we were able to address those concerns with the president and administrators who seemed to care. We would then work together to find solutions to problems that faced the university. We have systems of shared governance that allow the faculty, the people with the most knowledge about and most affected by the challenges facing Oregon Tech to come up with solutions. In the past, while not always perfect and smooth, these systems allowed us to find good, effective solutions to problems that faced the university. Today, the recommendations of faculty committees are ignored, committees are bypassed, and in some instances, new groups without faculty participation are formed to work around existing systems. This makes faculty efforts and shared governance both frustrating and a waste of effort. The collective experience, passion, and expertise of faculty is being ignored, and instead a single person makes all the decisions. We don't want this outcome. This is not a victory. This is a failure. It's a failure on the behalf of faculty, the administrator's part, and the board's part. Unfortunately, the faculty has exhausted all other avenues to try to create change. While we have tried repeatedly to engage and resolve in other ways, meanwhile, our relationships with current administration has become increasingly frayed. Today, we find ourselves at a university where the administration views the faculty as their enemy. They send emails to students, faculty, and staff degrading the faculty, and they send news releases that accuse faculty of various crimes from pettiness to slander and greed. The email rebuke that Oregon Tech employees received last week from senior administration illustrates the problem. Instead of accepting our input, asking for details, and attempting to resolve the issue, the administrative response was to attack the character, the competence, and the intelligence of faculty. In the response to our concerns is, quote, "Shut up and do what you're told. Your whining is an embarrassment," end quote. A way forward to create a system where shared governance is real and possible is a difficult imagination. Part of the problem that brings us to this moment is the stark difference in evaluation procedures that faculty and administrators undergo. Faculty are evaluated by the people they serve, the students, every single quarter, and yearly by the chair, dean, and provost. They produce 2 evaluation documents a year, one proposing what they will do in that year, the Faculty Objective Plan, or FOP, and one that is a summary based on that proposal of what they have accomplished with the Annual Performance Evaluation, or APE. Every 5 years, the faculty are required to produce a document that illustrates their contribution to the institution, often between 200 to 300 pages, that documents their continuing contributions to the university. After they produce the document, public comment sessions are held where anyone on campus can give input on their performance, and written comments are also accepted by anyone. Next, committees at the departmental, the college, and university level review their performance, and finally, the department chair, dean, and provost all weigh in on their performance. These evaluation procedures are 360 degrees and exhaustive. In contrast, the administrative evaluation does not include any of those steps. The opportunity for faculty or anyone on campus to express their satisfaction or dissatisfaction with administrators' performance is apparently seen as irrelevant to their evaluation. The central problem comes down to relationships. Perhaps if the administrators knew the faculty and had meaningful relationships with them, or for that matter, if the board knew the faculty, perception of the faculty would be different. The faculty are passionately committed to Oregon Tech, its past, present, and future. We have served the students, alumni, employers, citizens of Oregon, and the region for years, building a reputation as an excellent school. We want to have positive relationships with everyone involved with Oregon Tech. It is one of the central tenets to the model of Oregon Tech education that we have developed. We value relationships. However, when you don't know us, it's hard to understand what we can offer, and the administration does not know us. None of the new senior administrators, including the president, after years of service, have developed relationships with the faculty. They don't know us, and we don't have relationships. We understand how difficult it can be to trust someone you don't know. We are faced with that every day with this administration. Administration has made little effort to develop even a rudimentary relationship with the faculty. This seems to reflect dismaying distrust and contempt for the very people that built and tried to maintain Oregon Tech's relationship. In conclusion, the faculty have taken appropriate steps to have our voices heard. We first asked for clarification. We second voiced concern. We third, we've written resolutions. Fourth, voiced our concerns to the board. And finally, formed a faculty union, and now we find ourselves with a vote of no confidence. It is wise to make data-driven decisions, so I would like to share 4 data points expressing faculty's assessment of Dr. Naganathan. Could I have the next slide, please? After experiencing frustration attempting to work with senior administration, the Faculty Senate charged Faculty Welfare Committee to administer a faculty satisfaction survey. The qualitative data includes comments about low morale, a toxic work environment, a negative change in the work environment, frustration, unrealistic expectation, and a growing divide between groups. Overall, respondents felt that the organizational climate at Oregon Tech has changed recently and negatively, and that this change is affecting their ability to enjoy or even do their jobs. There were also comments about how the demands faculty members face cause them to experience high amounts of stress, and that stress over a period of time leads to burnout. Can I have the next slide, please? Winter term 2021, Senate Executive Committee developed and administered a short faculty confidence survey. The first question asked, how confident are you in senior administration's ability to make the right decisions for Oregon Tech? The mean or average score on a scale of 1 to 5 was 1.85. The median score was 2. Further, nearly half of the faculty rated their confidence at a 1 or not confident at all, while just over 1/4 rated their confidence of 3 or higher. Next slide, please. The next question, respondents were asked, how satisfied or dissatisfied are you with leadership at Oregon Tech? Faculty were asked to rate the Board of Trustees, Faculty Senate, University President, Provost, and Dean. Overall levels of satisfaction were highest among Faculty Senate and Deans, with respondents reporting being moderately or extremely satisfied at 56% and 29% respectively. Levels of satisfaction were lower for the Board of Trustees and the Provost, with only 7% and 13% respectively, reporting being moderately or extremely satisfied. Finally, levels of satisfaction were lowest for the university president. Overall, only 5% reported moderately or extremely satisfied, while 82% reported being moderately or extremely dissatisfied. Next slide, please. The next question asked of the faculty was how satisfied or dissatisfied are you with Oregon Tech as a place of work? Over 2/3 of the faculty reported at least being slightly dissatisfied with Oregon Tech as a place of work, with just under 20% reporting extreme dissatisfaction. Next slide, please. There are no faculty that desire to strike. We are here for our students. When asked if they were willing to support a strike, 96% of faculty participated, with 92% supporting the union. Next slide, please. As you know, last week, Faculty Senate administered a vote of no confidence to all faculty that are half-time or above. The statement read, "I agree with a vote of no confidence in Dr. Naganathan." 92% of the faculty participated, with the final results being 92%, which is 147 faculty, voted yes. 12 faculty, which accounts for 8%, voted no. Next slide, please. I do not envy the position that you find yourselves in having to make the decisions ahead of you. As stated earlier, we make data-driven decisions at Oregon Tech and expect the same from the Board of Trustees. I have provided you with the data to analyze. Now it's time for you to make the decision. Faculty are calling for the Board of Trustees to terminate the contract with Dr. Naganathan. Thank you for your time. End of report.
Okay, thank you, President Don McDonald. I think I'd like to take a minute, just a short minute, to confer with Dr. Naganathan and with Sandra on next steps here with our board meeting. So. Okay. What I think is best for us to do as a board now is I would like to give all of us a chance to discuss this matter in executive session. This is a matter that has to deal with performance, and so therefore I think it's the best forum for us all to have an open discussion. So I am going to go ahead and kick us into an executive session. Based on Faculty Senate's report on a vote of no confidence, the Oregon Institute of Technology's Board of Trustees will convene an executive session per Oregon Revised Statute 192.662 BFI to hear complaints brought against an employee, to consider information that is exempt by law from public inspection, to review the employment-related performance of the Chief Executive Officer, and ORS 40.225 Rule 503 to engage in attorney-client privilege discussion. Note that there will be no final action or final decisions made during the executive session, and then the board will reconvene after. Okay, thank you. What we're going to do is Sandra's going to open up another I guess, conference line or Teams for everyone else to log out of this Teams, log back into the executive session Teams, and we're going to move to, is it Mount McLaughlin?
Bailey.
Mount Bailey room. So thank you so much. We'll see you in a minute.
Professional knows that a good compensation plan serves as a strong motivator for employees to perform at high levels and exceed goals. The plan must be equitable, predictable, legal, and competitive. However, we also know that when the compensation plan is lacking these elements, it is a huge factor in workplace dissatisfaction and can result in the loss of talented employees, which in turn impedes the organization's ability to be competitive. A strong plan will support the business strategy, operating objectives, and staff needs. Every company needs a compensation plan to organize and strategize how they will attract and retain top talent, as well as to budget in a wise and predictable manner. The final offer from OIT's administration is anything but that. Let me explain. Administration has proposed a merit-only compensation system where merit pay is awarded solely at the discretion of administration. One VP who clearly doesn't understand compensation touted it as the gold standard. I ask, does that mean that administrators themselves will be subject to the same compensation system? Will they have to be paid on merit only, where merit is awarded solely at the discretion of faculty and staff? Of course not. It's ludicrous and is capricious. People need to know what is expected of them and what compensation they can expect in return. These expectations are outlined in written policies. In fact, OIT has existing policies that address all of these areas of compensation: workload, tenure, performance, and so on, all clearly defined. And until an agreement is reached, they are still in force. Unfortunately, administration has violated policy both when the COLA was denied and when they tried to unilaterally implement changes to the stipend release and workload guidelines. An unfair labor practice lawsuit was filed and faculty won that case. To be competitive, compensation needs to align with the market. It is standard practice to compare to peer institutions to determine where your compensation levels fall in the spectrum. Then you strategically decide where you want to be, at the bottom of the range, in the middle of the range, or at the top of the range. The data is available specific to every industry. In higher education, it is found at the College and University Professors Association for Human Resources, or CUPA. Nothing in administration's proposal indicates that they have evaluated the data and used that to draft a competitive offer. OIT is in crisis mode. The president has lost the trust and respect of the very people who are responsible to deliver on the goals that he sets forth. The vote of no confidence by faculty is a result of many grievances in addition to compensation, including communication, transparency, and shared governance. Given the time, I would address all of these. At this point of impasse, you cannot delegate away your responsibility as a board to investigate and intervene to find a sustainable solution. As the Board of Trustees, you are the final authority. The university cannot thrive in this state of paralysis. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Marlon.
Shiloh Castelli, are you still on the line?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you very much.
Perfect. Good afternoon. My name is Shiloh Castelli, and I am a student in the Medical Laboratory Science program at the Portland Metro campus. Before I comment, I do need to voice a correction to 2 items stated earlier today. First, to what ASOIT President Peter Wantuck had stated, students who signed the statement of support of our faculty union are aware that the willingness to skip class is not a strike, it is a walkout, which is a traditional tactic of protesting used previously by students. It's the term that is on the full statement of support available to all the students who followed the links, and corresponding flyers were also transparently updated the moment we learned of the one inaccuracy that Peter had referred to. Secondly, to those that liken students to children, I am 31 years old. I know what I am doing, and I pay for your product. If you want to keep selling that product, do not refer to your consumers in such a condescending manner. Now, for my comment. Over the last several weeks, the administration has emailed the student body with direct links to their press releases regarding both the union negotiations and the recent call for Dr. Naganathan to resign. There was even one email that clearly attempted to conflate the two. Both emails and press releases omitted faculty perspective completely, and at least 2 press releases gave information that was grossly out of context, which I only know because I researched publicly available documentation. No emails received by student body from the administration have included any direct links to faculty union press releases. I expect that when I pay to go here, I am allowed the complete picture regarding issues affecting me and fellow students. How our faculty is treated affects us. How our money is spent affects us. When we barely have time to read these memos dumped directly into our inbox, how do we know there's more information out there? We won't. Meanwhile, faculty members have not used their access to students to tell us what we should think regarding these issues, and they have remained professional. Going even farther, a student journalist attempted to publish an article about the union negotiations in our student newspaper. The administration did not allow this to happen. They should not have a final say on an article by a student for a student publication, especially when the article is not breaking any rules of student code of conduct. Each email they've sent to us has emphasized repeatedly how we are a priority to them. The way they speak about priorities in enrollment and competition for enrollment do not indicate this. Once we are here and Oregon Tech has our money, we are kept oblivious about program budget cuts, the way our faculty is treated, and where exactly our money is going. I will end talking a bit about the program I'm in. The Medical Laboratory Science program is operating at 60% of its previous budget. We were the most expensive program at this school until this year, and not because of a decision made by the administration ultimately, but because the faculty worked hard to demonstrate to them that we are so much more expensive than comparable programs. Only then did they halt our increases. When they asked about where additional money from a cut budget and an increase in tuition went, our faculty was told that it was our donated analyzers that were expensive. Donated analyzers were expensive. Yet, also in a meeting last year in June, the Fiscal Operations Advisory Council observed that the President's Office and other administration departments had seen, quote, historical disproportional increases, end quote. The administration has told us that they want to guarantee us the, quote, Oregon Tech academic experience we deserve, end quote. I don't think that's it. These inconsistencies and unethical behavior is disturbing to me as a student who faces the consequences of such actions. I urge the board to investigate and report their findings with full transparency. And lastly, I fully support the faculty union's efforts and everything that the Faculty Senate president presented here today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your comment.
All right. Bree Landis, are you on the line?
I am on the line.
All right. Please
Can everyone
begin.
hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, good afternoon to the board and everyone attending today. I'm Bree Landis, a graduate student in the civil engineering program here at OIT in Klamath Falls. I've been a student and resident here since 2018. I was enticed to OIT because it boasted an impressive breadth of excellent professors, specifically in engineering departments. OIT was named the best bang for your buck when comparing OSU, U of O, and others across the state. My tuition in the fall of 2018 was just over $2,700 for 12 credits. My tuition in the fall of 2019 was over $3,300 for 15 credits. My tuition last fall was $4,500 for mixed graduate and undergraduate courses. I've read a few things over the last 2 years about the financial status at OIT. I saw the deficit, over $2 million. And I saw the increase of administrative salaries, both as new positions were crafted out of thin air and as administrators gave themselves more hats to wear. And these two numbers were nearly the same for that fiscal year. Embezzlement is a word that came to my mind then, but the softer word, I'm told, is financial policy that lacks transparency. The academic catalog grows thinner every year. Students don't have the luxury of picking electives that apply to them. They must take every elective offered when it's offered if they expect to graduate on time. My master's degree is going to be a general studies degree because my department lacks adequate professors to teach what the catalog offers. It's clear to me what the connection is. My department has lost 3 professors in my short time here, and honestly, why would they stay? They're watching their modest salaries stagnate while positions pulled out of thin air are salaried at $150,000. Indeed, the seat building, still under construction, is now having thousands of square feet reallocated from student workspaces to the president's office and conference rooms. Why would professors stay? And frankly, why would students even come here? Why even choose OIT at this point? We have meager course offerings, overworked professors, and we can all see the glaring mismanagement, since embezzlement is an ugly word, of our ever increasing tuition dollars and no increase in university services. As word continues to spread through local news to local and state government officials and beyond, OIT's reputation will continue to tarnish. I implore the board to alleviate this tension. Do so by ending the egregious mismanagement of funds, end the lack of transparency. Students are not cash cows of administrative bloat, and faculty are not to be squeezed dry. Thank you.
Thank you, Bree.
Thank you. Linda, do you want to read Ralph's and then you can do yours? Sure. Linda Riley was asked by Ralph Eccles, who was unable to attend. He did submit his written comment, but he really wanted to be here. And so Linda has agreed to read his statement on his behalf.
Okay with me too, Erin?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. It already drives me out. Okay. All right. My name is Linda Riley, and I'll read this first letter on behalf of Ralph Eccles. Dr. Eccles writes, I am a donor and supporter of OIT. Dr. Naganathan has done a great job of expanding the capacity and outreach of OIT, and is very personable when talking to the community and donors. However, he has not been a great communicator to the outstanding faculty of OIT. I have taken classes at OIT, taught part of courses as adjunct, and still on one of the boards that supports research at OIT. Have had a close personal relationship with Chris Maples and some other previous and current administration. I know many of the faculty as friends and neighbors. I am the father of a professor who left because of problems of communication that predate the current administration. Under the current president, communication between faculty and the administration has gotten worse. OIT has lost several fantastic professors in the last few years, 4 of whom I knew personally. 3 took positions in private industry that pay much better, but 1 took a position at a university in another state and is amazed at how much easier it is to approach the administration and get changes made to teaching and research than it was at OIT. It is the magnificent faculty that makes OIT a world-class institution. The Faculty Senate is the voice of the faculty. A unanimous vote cannot be ignored by the board. As the former director of a medium-sized institution, I was very busy dealing with all the financial and administrative duties. A federal grant had withheld so much that I had to cut 10% of the budget one year. The faculty sent a representative to speak to me, and suddenly I found I had been making unilateral executive decisions that were expeditious, but I was not listening to my faculty. I had to make changes so that the faculty knew they had my ear. It was not easy, but after that we had collaboration, and I not only listened, but delegated to groups of faculty to make sure their suggestions were implemented, and asked my fellow administrators to work with these faculty committees. The OIT faculty has some of the best teachers in the world. They have lost confidence in their leadership. Running a university is a collaborative effort. It cannot be operated as a hierarchical business. For example, the merit raise increase plan makes sense for a sales department of a large car dealership, but would destroy the smooth operation of teaching and proctoring students. Hiring a new president is better than trying to recruit new faculty, which is already difficult for any institution, but impossible if there is a cloud over the university's administration. OIT administration is suffering from the Peter principle, where good faculty are promoted, but then eventually end up in administration. Sometimes this works, but often the fantastic teacher is a mediocre administrator. When seeking out a new president, the OIT board needs to look at candidates who have a long history of working in university administration as a collaborator and is trusted and appreciated by faculty at that institution. Such an individual may not be a seasoned researcher with a PhD, but might be an experienced academic administrator with an EDD like Roberto Gutierrez at KCC, or the president of the medical school I attended. Thank you for hearing my comments. Ralph Eccles.
Thank you, Linda.
Yes, thank you.
And then for mine, I know I got this to you a little late, Sandra, so I brought copies of this table, and I can pass them around now or just think, yeah, okay.
Thanks.
To the Oregon Tech Board of Trustees, my name is Linda Riley. I'm a former employee of Oregon Tech, a board member of another organization, and I stand with the faculty. I come before you today with concerns, but also hope. You are individuals who, according to your policy, have, quote, demonstrated collaborative leadership and show a record of integrity, good judgment, and civic virtue. Secretary Fox has stated that it has, quote, long been the board policy that the university president is delegated the authority to oversee union negotiations. If the board has the ability to delegate this authority, the board has the power to take back this authority. I am hopeful you will now use your authority and, as your policy states, quote, full control of the university to support a fair contract and address the concerns I outlined. My first concern, lack of transparency and communication from the president to the faculty. Faculty have shared with me that their recommendations aren't heeded and admin decisions are not explained when they don't align with committee recommendations. When faculty ask for answers or explanations, none are provided. My second concern, equity. As I follow information presented and study the public salary data for faculty and administration, I come back to the same question. Why is President Naganathan willing to pay his administration more, but not his faculty? I would also like to dispel any notion that faculty are more than fairly compensated or are simply whining about compensation. Sure, you might think, of course I say that, she says that, but before you pass judgment, please look at the evidence. Before Dr. Naganathan was hired as president, there had long been issues in determining a process for fair market salaries and benefits for faculty. As such, Provost Brad Berta commissioned a $50,000 compensation study conducted by MGT of America, experts in compensation for the higher education sector. The study took over a year to complete and closely involved the VP of Finance, Brian Fox, the acting dean of ETM, and 2 faculty members. It applied current data at the time, industry norms, and processes in determining faculty compensation. I am presenting this report to the board for public record. One of the most important aspects of the study was that it developed a process for continuing to determine comparator universities, because these will change over time. In summary, this study showed that Oregon Tech faculty were making 13% less than comparator universities Oregon Tech aspires to be like. Upon completion, this administration all but ignored the study, the results, and the advice in this report. They simply posted it on the HR website without taking any actions. You should also know that the faculty union was using this study to inform the methods in their proposals. My third concern, lack of shared governance. Recently, a new internal comparator study was presented at the behest of Dr. Naganathan. This is a good example of a disregard for shared governance. If faculty and prior admin agreed on a set of comparators and Dr. Naganathan did not agree, then the right thing to do would have been for faculty and admin to select another slate of comparators together. The table I provide below shows the comparators in each study. What strikes me about these 2 lists is that Dr. Naganathan continually touts the accomplishments of Oregon Tech and promotes a vision for a university more like those listed on the left than on the right, correct? And this is what we all want, a university with outstanding faculty nationally and internationally recognized for their teaching talent, their research endeavors, and their community service. We want to send our children to universities with faculty like this, right? Then shouldn't we be compensating with the faculty at Oregon Tech like the faculty at the institutions Dr. Naganathan aspires to? As the governing body of this institution, you have the power to strengthen the foundation of trust and equity that will indeed maintain and improve the reputation of Oregon Tech. By not responding or acting to reach a fair contract, this board risks eroding the quality education students have come to expect and deserve at this institution. All constituents appreciate the capital investments to Oregon Tech, but not at the expense of shared governance, trust, and good communication. After more than 500 days of negotiation, faculty are still looking at a contract that is akin to a mortgage that allowed the bank to change the interest rate at any time without notice or negotiation. No one would sign up for that mortgage, and neither should the faculty. On behalf of non-tenure track faculty who have gone 6 years without a pay increase, and adjunct faculty who have gone 10 years without a pay increase, and especially on behalf of the students who want a quality education but do not want to strike, I implore you to support a contract that has clear definitions, data-driven compensation consistent with the vision for
Linda, we're
Oregon
over.
Tech, and a provision that support all types of faculty. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Ready?
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
You guys are so polite. Thank you.
One of these times I'll say no.
It's okay for Linda.
All right. Dear Chair Gomez, I've requested to make public comment today to offer further thoughts from the faculty. First, I want to recognize that some of the progress at Oregon Tech that has been made under Dr. Nagi's watch. The Board of Trustees and members of the Foundation Board have made a sincere effort to broadcast this message loudly and fervently. My recognition will be brief. The campus grounds look wonderful. Many buildings have been improved, with most of the funding coming from state rather than university resources. The labs I manage are top-notch. And certain necessary relationships have been strengthened with community colleges, donors, and legislators. But to recognize these accomplishments as if they were the sole measure of a university's progress continues to dismiss the loud and now deafening cries of the faculty of this university. With two separate votes of roughly 90% of the faculty demonstrating near unanimous concern, this body cannot simply continue to support Dr. Nagi and dismiss the faculty. Yet it has done so on multiple occasions in lockstep with Dr. Nagi. Faculty brought to Dr. Nagi and this board's attention well over a year ago the concern of significant salary increases for a handful of executive administrators. The answers we received from Dr. Nagi in town hall meetings were not compelling. This board did not respond to direct communication from multiple academic departments echoing the concern. Why not? Publicly available data puts the increase to administrator-based salaries between 2018 and 2020 at $1.5 million, which is nearly the same 20% that our newly hired VP of Advancement claims in the local paper our union is requesting, without offering any term for that 20%. Same VP also erroneously states the union is requesting a 20% reduction in workload, and that increases in costs can only be covered by raising tuition. The public misinformation must stop. The faculty unionized in 2018 over numerous reasons, but chief among them were concerns about a lack of shared governance, compensation policies not followed, and a worrying trend that has continued to this day of their voices being left out of important decisions. Faculty have attempted on multiple occasions to clearly define the scope of our concern. Senate executive meetings with Dr. Nagi, faculty administrator town halls, and the unanswered June 2020 letter presenting the results of a faculty welfare survey describing burnout and low morale, and a video and slide presentation by then Senate President Terry Torres to this board outlining faculty concern. We had no town halls this year until March. A member of this board described the concerns raised by Terry Torres as noise. In response to all of these fairly loud internal signals, Dr. Nagi, supported by this board, proposed a reset. For Dr. Nagi, moving on seems to mean pretending it never happened. As a result, the faculty feel dismissed, devalued, and disrespected. Union negotiations have been even more depressing. Just think of the time and public resources that have been wasted in over 500 days of negotiation. The faculty bargaining team attempted to build on a $50,000 university-sponsored study by MGT of America that outlined a clear method of ensuring market competitive salaries for faculty. Early efforts to move all faculty to the salary floors outlined in that study stalled. Our faculty are intrinsically, not extrinsically motivated. Give us fair compensation and watch us continue to make this university a great place to learn and a boon to industry in the state of Oregon. That's our long-term trend. Set up a system of arbitrary and unclear extrinsic motivation and watch it continue to collapse, our short-term trend. In the 11th hour of faculty union contract negotiations, the university's Office of Institutional Research has identified a list of 10 university comparators that demonstrate that we are paid sufficiently. I hope you review this list carefully because none of these universities are commonly shared by Dr. Nagi as aspirational or even peer examples for Oregon Tech. Their average US News ranking is 73rd in their respective regions, but we are 5th in the West. And only one of the 10 of those comparators has the multiple ABET EAC accredited engineering programs that we have. These are not meaningful comparators and demonstrate the need for discussion, transparency, and shared decision-making. Finally, if we're going to pay $400,000 for an exterior renovation of Snell Hall this summer, as recently added to the list of active capital projects and not included in the F&F agenda, let's also ensure a fair contract with the faculty and some action on the deferred maintenance of our human infrastructure. Our faculty are the finest people I've had the opportunity to work with, and they can light up a classroom. You can fix this situation. While our union felt it was necessary today to submit the notice of intent to strike, no one wants a strike. Please consider sincere action on all of these concerns for the good of our institution and the student experience you profess to hear so much about.
CJ?
One more sentence. Stand with the 407 letters of support the faculty union has collected. Stand with our students. Invest in faculty.
Thank you.
That is all the requests for public comment that we have.
Okay.